He was talking about how he quit watching the game. He turned it off, and I was texting him. I was like, dude, you got to turn the game back on. Texas is about to come back and win this thing. You're going to miss the greatest comeback in college football playoff history. It was unreal.
29 for 38. Phenomenal. 430. Good gosh. I know I wrote it down, but just setting in with me. 430 against that Texas defense. I think Texas has a top 10 defense. Sheesh. Whew. All right, guys. So the Washington and Texas game just got done wrapping up, and let me silence my notifications here. Oh yeah, and by the way, let me address this. I know I still have not recapped the Alabama-Michigan game. I assume if you're watching this video, you more than likely saw my live reaction to it. If not, feel free to check it out. And after the, I guess you'd call it the game-losing play, yeah. We didn't get the 4th and 3, 4th and goal, whatever you want to call it. For the next 10 minutes of that video, I pretty much said 10 words. And I'm still going to recap that game after this video. So if you're feeling up to it, stay up super late tonight, or you can catch it in the morning. I will recap the Michigan and Alabama game because I have a lot to say. We're going to talk all about that, but I did want to address that, so don't think I'm just avoiding it. I'm getting to it, trust me. I had to watch this after I kind of gathered myself because I'm upset, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm extremely upset still about the Alabama and Texas. The Alabama and Michigan game. Really upset. But I'm not going to talk about that. We're not here to talk about Alabama, though. At least in this video, we're here to talk about the Texas and Washington ball game. And I got to bring up the whiteboard because I'll set it right there. Let me erase this real quick. Give me a second. I'll get to that in just a second. But first things first, I got to address this, and I got to say this. What in the crap was happening at the end of that Washington-Texas game? The fact Texas even had a shot, and somewhat of a good shot to win the game, because all you needed, what was it? They had the ball on about the 12. You had 2 plays to gain 12 yards. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you'd have told Texas fans you were going to need 12 yards or you're only going to need 12 yards to win the game after not getting the onside kick, I think they would have looked at you stupid. And matter of fact, I'll share this with y'all. I don't think he'll mind too much. One of my buddies I was texting with, and he'll probably be watching this video, he was talking about how he quit watching the game. He turned it off, and I was texting him. I was like, dude, you got to turn the game back on. Texas is about to come back and win this thing. You're going to miss the greatest comeback in college football playoff history. It was unreal. And Washington, this rule has got to be changed because I can't be the only one that feels like that's kind of shady. So Washington's player, as we all know, Dylan Johnson, and my prayers and thoughts, I love me some Dylan Johnson. Y'all know that. I talk about him a ton. He gets hurt, okay? Different conversation, different video for a different day. We'll talk about that later. But the point is, I'm going to bring this up. The clock stops because he's an injured player. But I feel like since it was a Washington injured player and the clock stopping would benefit Texas, it was almost like another timeout. The clock, whenever you get the injured player off the field, right, and you go out there to snap the ball, before you snap the ball, the clock should just continue to run like he didn't get hurt. Maybe that's just me. I think the offense should be the one who gets to decide, or Washington, in this case and scenario, they get to decide whether they wanted the clock to run or not. But I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. I just think that's a very odd rule because if that didn't happen, Texas wouldn't even have been down there in the first place because they gained, about 20, 25 seconds from that. So that was crazy itself. But then they punt the ball, pretty decent punt. But you got the kick-catch interference. That was a bonus 15 yards. The next thing you know, Texas throws up a couple bombs, and you look up, they're at the 10-yard line. Now, as we all know, Washington held them, but that game should not have been that close at the end. And Washington almost just screwed themselves over because what were they doing? I can't remember exactly how much time was left. There's like 2 minutes and 44 seconds, I believe, to be exact. And they're up by 6, not 9. This is before the field goal. They're up by 6. They're on the goal line. It's a goal to go. And they passed the ball instead of running it and making Texas burn timeout. That also gave Texas another 40 seconds because it was an incomplete pass. There was just so many things in the second half where Washington just felt like every single time they had the chance to step on their throats and completely just pull the game away or pull away from Texas, they wouldn't do it. It was almost like, and even the announcers were talking about this, they were dominating Texas, but you look at the scoreboard, it didn't come off that way on paper at least. And Texas, like I said, they had a shot to win the game.
If you're a Texas fan, I get it. You're going to be upset. But for you to even be in this game in which, I'm not going to say you got dominated. I disagree with the commentator. Whoever said it, I can't remember who said it. He said, yeah, Washington's dominating Texas. I wouldn't say dominated. My word is, I'd say they controlled the game. The game was never really in doubt for Washington until the end. And it wasn't like they just controlled it in the second or third or fourth quarter. No, from start to finish, Washington, they controlled the game and they were the better team tonight. Not even up for debate. And that's why I don't think Texas fans can be too mad, because you weren't the better team. As a fan myself, the only time I really get mad and upset after a game is when I feel like we outplayed them and we was a better team, but we made too many mistakes and we didn't win the game. In this game, and even in the Alabama-Michigan game, that didn't happen. The better team won. And I got to address this, and I'm going to pull up some stats on the whiteboard in just a second, because I'm curious. I want to see what this box score was, but Michael Penix Jr. Let me clip this up right here. I'll do it right here. That brother was unreal tonight. Man, oh man. That dude was balling. And that might be understating it. He was playing like 2020 Joe Burrow in the playoffs. He was playing like Tom Brady, whoever you want to use. I haven't seen a quarterback play that good in the playoffs probably since Bryce Young did okay, Stetson DoorDash Ben did okay. Yeah, I would say Joe Burrow. Man, oh man, mama, there goes that man. He was fantastic. The wide receivers were fantastic, but I expected that. The only real shocking thing is Dylan Johnson. I thought for Washington to win this game, he was going to have to go off for like 125, 150, and he didn't. Michael Penix Jr. single-handedly, and that's what shocked me, he single-handedly beat Texas by himself. Got to give it up to him. I need to get to these stats, but real quick, one other thing I want to address is the Texas defense was, dare I say, I don't know. Do I want to say pitiful? I think it was a combination of two things. The Texas defense wasn't that good tonight, so right here, defense wasn't that good, and also Washington's offense was cooking. Combination of both things, and that's why Washington put up, what was it? Yeah, 37-31, that was the final score. Very disappointed, and I even stated I thought Texas had the best front seven out of any team in the Final Four, the college football playoff, whatever you want to call it. You're not going to win many games giving up 37 points. Yeah, the Texas offense wasn't great. They had some turnovers. They had the fumble, this and that. But at the end of the day, you lost because of the defense. Let's pull up some of these stats, though, and I don't even have my phone. I'm not prepared. Good one, Matt. So let's pull up. You know what? Let's do this, guys. Yeah, you should be able to say it pretty good. I'm going to pull up Quinn Ewers' stats and Penix Jr.'s, and then I'm going to show you the team stats because they're really interesting. All right, so on the left here, I definitely didn't think Ewers played his best game. I'm probably going to rewatch this later tonight, early tomorrow morning to gain all my thoughts, but immediate reaction is he played about his C+, B- game. I'll give him that. And keep in mind, a C+, B-, that's not bad whatsoever. 24 for 43. That's all right. 318, that's pretty good, and 1 touchdown, 0 INTs. On the flip side of it, though, for Penix Jr., take a look at this. And at one point in time, I looked at the box score. He was, 23 for 27? He only had like 4 incompletions. All right, there we go. Penix Jr. on your right here, 29 for 38. Phenomenal. 430. Good gosh. I know I wrote it down, but just setting in with me. 430 against that Texas defense? I think Texas has a top 10 defense. Sheesh. Yeah, he was playing like prime Joey Burrow here. I thought he only had like 330. Dang, 430. What about that? And it also seemed like Washington was taking their foot off the gas and playing not to lose at the end, but we'll get to that in just a second. A little foreshadowing here. 2 touchdowns, 0 INTs. And I could bring up the numbers from the wide receivers, but you know they're good. I just want to show y'all this. And last but not least, let me show you the team stats. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if I said it, but if I didn't say it, I meant to say it. I said what's going to come down to in this game is, number one, the Texas defense. If they can get some stops, they'll win. If they can't, they'll lose. Obviously, Matt. Obviously, that was the dumbest thing I've ever said. Obviously, if Texas doesn't get stops, they're not going to win. Matt. You freaking idiot. Anyways, let me lock back in here. But getting back on track here, I stated that the Texas defense was going to be a big X factor. That was my number one X factor. And the other X factor, and this is for any big-time playoff game or big-time bowl game, is going to be your quarterbacks. More times than not,
when you got two great teams going at it, going to war, going to battle, it's going to come down to whoever has the better quarterback or whichever quarterback plays better. And in this game, I think we can all agree it's not even close. Michael Penix Jr. played better. Now, with that being said, let's pull up some of these team stats because I haven't looked at these. All right, Texas had 23. Let me reset the camera too. Hold on, guys. All right, we're back at it. Texas had 23 first downs. Washington had 25. And third downs was pretty even. Texas was 4 for 11. Washington was 3 for 11. Total yards, though, and this was kind of more even than I thought, too, because I thought Washington outgained them by way more than that. But I'll pull it up. We'll go in the middle here. Total yards. Circle that. All right, it's Washington on the right. It's Texas on the left. How many total yards? You don't see that. How many total yards you think old Texas had? Take a guess. I'll put it over here, actually. 498. Yeah, you don't see that. 498. Washington, and yeah, I'll just write it right here. Washington had 532. Like I said, pretty even. Came down to this. Didn't Texas have 3 turnovers? No. They had 2 turnovers. Okay, and Washington had that one where they muffed the punt early in the first half. And I do want to say this while I'm thinking about it. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's because I'm still flustered and I'm just all discombobulated because of the Alabama loss to Michigan. But this game just felt strange to me. And it goes back to Washington. It seemed like they were dominating. Let me get the mic here. It seemed like they were dominating, but they really weren't. And every single time, in the second half, they're up by 7, 10, 13. They just never put the nail in the coffin. They got the ball. I think they were up 13. Texas fumbled. And it's almost like they're being lackadaisical and kind of goofing around. It almost seemed like they didn't really want to finish the game, and they live for the, I guess you shall say, theatrics. Yeah, that's the word I'm going to use, theatrics. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They're always going to play either down to the competition or up to a competition, and I think they like it. That's how they play. I tell you this much, though. You're fortunate to win this game. You should have won the game, but you're fortunate that you were playing with fire and you didn't get burnt, because that's what you were doing late in that fourth quarter. They got to clean that stuff up. I'm not trying to be some negative person here. Celebrate the win. It was a great win, but if you're a Washington fan, at the end there, that was a little too close for your liking. It was a little too close for my liking, and I don't have a horse in the race. There's many more things I could say. I feel like I'm missing a couple points, but we're going to talk about this tomorrow. You know this, so come on back to the channel. This is just my live and immediate reaction. Also, got to do this Alabama-Michigan recap, so we'll end up the video here. Let me know your thoughts down below about that.